Caution, wait. Please do not play with my mind. Hey, I do not play with my lines. Wait, I keep protection for mine. You will not touch what is mine. I do not play with my shine. Caution, wait. Please do not play with my mind. Hey, I do not play with my lines. Wait, I keep protection for mine. You will not touch what is mine. I do not play with my shine. Caution, look at my face, pay me respect. Please do not play with my line. If you want taste, what you gon' get? Shit that gon' bury your mind. All that's at stake, where is my check? Need every nickel and dime. You play with my race, put you in check. For stopping the vision to climb. They mad that these niggas done woke up and now all our visions to go. Where is the bag to get us so caught up? Yeah, that is the mission and goal. Staying on cold. Some of y'all doing too much. Straight up be looking like hoes. Never gonna grow. Can't count on you in clutch. Most of y'all doing the most. Like this is a show. Doing it for entertainment. Or you're doing it for clout. Or you're doing it to sit at the table with crackers with words in your mouth. I don't play with enslavement. These are the days of the South. These days we play differently. This is what black empowerment's about. Wait. I said there's no time for no friends. Either you with us against us, don't switch it, cause one of us die in the end. Hey, I'm keeping my eye on the lens. Watching the ops despising the picture, cause they wanna see the one end. Hey, caution, wait. These do not play with my mind. Hey, I do not play with my life. Wait, I keep protection for mine. You will not touch what is mine. I do not play with my shine. Caution, wait. Please do not play with my mind. Hey, I do not play with my life. I keep protection for mine. You will not touch what is mine. I do not play with my shine. Caution.
Hold on, wait. See a black man doing great with black-owned businesses, building in a different state. Why you snakes wait late in the grass, plotting on what you can take? Papa, black money in a black bank. Me, black money is safe, protected, like it's heavily protected. If he ever feels threatened, then he go with lead and knock him off his check. Please check this. For the record, he can never be weak. Disrespecting any checking your cheek. Rep your city, reppin' red, black, and green. Never fall, won't break. There's no limit to what I do for mine. But your soda don't take them up with the anger and hate up all of my ancestors combined. You wanna get one time? I keep it fully loaded, extended in the fully auto effing to keep you from crossing that gun line. You in violation. I ain't never shot a caveman. You be the first, I'ma give you this work. You get in the way of my occupation, yeah. Like I'm the boss and I don't like the way that you talking. This is my office, get permission before you walk in. The yellow tape because the door is caution.
Wait, please do not play with my mind. Hey, I do not play with my life. Wait, I keep protection for mine. You will not touch what is mine. I do not play with my shine. Caution, wait, please do not play with my mind. Hey, I do not play with my life. Wait, I keep protection for mine. You will not touch what is mine. I do not play with my shine. Caution.
Good evening, family. Welcome to another edition of Thorough Black Talk with your sister Keisha, your brother Tad, your brother Ashe SJ will be joining us shortly, along with our weekly correspondents, brother Blacksmith and sister Marcia, giving you the 1, 2, 1, 2. Get in here, tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody. It's going down tonight. We got a special guest with us tonight also, our brother King Samir, coming in, giving us the 1, 2, giving us the 411 on what's been going on with him and his recent legal issues. We're going to deal with that tonight. We're going to get it from the horse's mouth right here on Thorough Black Talk, because that's how we do it. So welcome everybody to the Brooklyn Bridge. This is our final broadcast for the year of 2023. So tell somebody to tell somebody, log on, because this is the final of the year. I see my brother Blacksmith getting ready. You ready, Black? Ready. He said, ready. Brother Black, how you doing? What's good?
Can you hear me, sis?
Got you.
Hey, what's up, Sister Keisha? How you doing today? I can't hear you now.
I'm feeling a lot better. I have this dry, persistent cough, but you know, it'll go away. A lot of people here in the city have been having issues with this dry, persistent cough.
Well, the intel
But
that
I'm about to say, I know Brother Black got an answer for that.
I
Tell us, why am I coughing like this, Brother Black?
okay, well, we now know that the nanoparticles and what they call the injection which was actually a bioweapon, was transmittable through nanoparticles. So they're calling it. I said it on the show the last time. About a month ago, it got released in China, or reactivated, if you will, as white lung. Then it moved to Europe. Then it moved over here, and the places that they tracked it to was a place in Ohio called Warren, and another place in Massachusetts. And once it gets, one person got it, you know how that go. Two get it, four get it, eight, on and on and on. Thank God I haven't been affected by any of that. But I live by myself, and I keep my immune system up by doing certain things, eating vegetables a lot, drinking a lot of smoothies and stuff like that. So fruits and vegetables for me. I haven't been sick, thank God, and I hope it's just a passing thing that nobody else gets for the rest of the year.
Yeah, me too, brother. Me too, because it's crazy. But this city is nasty.
Yep.
You got people that, unfortunately, now you have people who are sleeping on the streets now more than ever, here in these cities, in light of rising cost of living here and the recent migrant influx. So now, people are sleeping all over the place here. You won't believe it, Brother Black.
Let me
But
ask you a question, Sister Keisha.
hey,
How are the migrants, especially those from South America who are from tropical countries, dealing with now we officially in winter? So,
they
how
aren't.
they dealing
Actually,
with
I'm
it?
glad you brought that up because not too long ago, the federal government allowed Governor Hochul to use their land in Floyd Bennett Field, right? That's federal aviation
Right.
um, property. But anyway, they built these makeshift tents, if you
Uh-huh.
will, out there. And what happened was the past storm that we had a couple of days ago,
Right.
early this week, I think Monday. But
Right.
anyway, with that severe storm that we had, it really caused problems at that makeshift tent shelter that they have there. Excuse me. And a lot of people were complaining, the migrants were complaining, they were in fear that the roof was going to fall off. Some of their beds got wet. And the information that they were given, once they asked, people who were working about the situation, they were told either deal with it or leave. So what they've been doing is transporting, or excuse me, having these migrants go from one location to another location to another, and giving them 60-day increments in that. So now you have some of these migrants who have gone through the process of, dealing with paperwork as far as getting identification or whatever. They are not. They're not mm, happy with the process, because once you get moved from one shelter to another, then you lose your address, so they don't know where to find you at. So it's a nightmare. And like I say, people are sleeping all over the damn streets here, and it's just disgusting. It really is. And now, congestion pricing is about to kick in, so the cost of living here is just ridiculous. It's just terrible. And what recently reported, Brother Black, I think it was yesterday or the day before, but New York City has the highest rate of its citizens leaving the state, in like for more red states, because of what's happening here in these democratic cities. Is just a nightmare. And these black mayors and congresspersons don't realize that they were set up, for what's happening now. It's unfortunate, Brother Black, that our people still believe that they can do something in this duopoly and not realize that once you're put in position, either it's to be used or for the setup. And, this setup that is happening in these major cities is clearing the runway for serious law and order that's going to be coming in 2024. You have a lot of groups too who are forming organizations in light of what they believe will happen in 2024. So we got a lot to discuss, and we're gonna get into all of that, but it's really crazy. You got people, as you mentioned many times on the show, like George Soros and Bloomberg and all of these people who are putting money into the chaos to keep the foolishness going on for disruption. They want disruption. So hopefully that in their mind, the government will come in and swoop down and put us all in districts, if you will. So, kudos to you, Brother Black, for always giving us this information about how we should move and what we should look for. I wanted to ask you about the recent influx of media news regarding solar flares.
Right.
Any new information that you've heard of thus far?
Um. Well, the guy that I usually post, I post two major guys. Stephen something, I don't remember his last name right now, and Wages World. Those are the two main sources, and as well as Remedy H, who's always talked about that stuff. I post him a lot on my blog, so I'm sure you're at least familiar with him. It's gonna increase, and it's gonna get stronger. And there's such a thing as what they call a cannibal solar flare. And what that means is one comes out, another comes out, and then a big one comes behind that and swallows it up and hits the world or the earth with the impact of all three of them, even though they came out at separate different times. And maybe it'll be 8 of them coming out at that time, and they're going to increase and increase and increase and get stronger and stronger. That will cause this flash to happen that I've been talking about since I've been on the show and even before. So the influx is of why it's now in the mainstream media so much is because you can't hold it back now. Remember, I always talk about something else called the Great Awakening. And inside of the Great Awakening, more people are awake. Like now, you don't hear about Trump deranged syndrome as much as you did 2 or 3 years ago. A lot of people now see the difference. So, even if they got smoke for you, it ain't going to be as lethal as it was, even 2 years ago. So that's my correlation.
What do you think about this recent notification, if you will, from Rolling Stone magazine of calling of Ski being the number one song in hip hop in 2023? What do you think? A Sexy Red song, I believe, Ski.
I mean, hip hop has been so commodified now and so sold outish, if you will, from what we know it to be, from its glory days when it first became really popular worldwide in the 80s. I don't even pay attention to stuff like that no more. I don't even know who if it's not NBA YoungBoy, Sukiano, or one of the big names that you're not gonna avoid. I don't even know who these people are anymore, and I'm not following it. It's at a point now where I don't even really listen to music anymore. You know what I'm saying? And if I do, it's usually older stuff that is before 2000. So, and if not, stuff that's not really popular because it ain't playing on the radio. Yeah.
A lot of people were saying, that very same thing, Brother Black, that they just really much getting tired of the garbage that's being played out there today. But there is an influx of newer music that is coming in, and even a lot of the older hip hop artists are saying, it's trash. We talked about that here previously on the show. a lot of the music is trash today. So, I hope that, this would be a wake up call, if you will, to some people, stop playing that garbage, man. It's so bad. I don't understand, well, I do. Once your brain and body gets used to a certain frequency, that's what you expect. You understand what I'm saying? And our people have been on the wrong frequency for quite some time. And it's causing a lot of madness today. But I wanted to, let me see if I can, hold on, family. Give me 1 second. But Brother Black, also, I wanted you to give some insight on, some of the things that you've noticed in 2023 that we should pay attention to coming into 2024.
Um. Oh, great questions, sis. As far as that's concerned,
Mm,
on a general level, let me go general, and then I'll go a little more specific. I
mm,
don't think anybody should be afraid. I kind of touched on this last week, but I didn't really go in on it. If you at the end of the show, I had said, if you doing the right thing, I'm not talking about being perfect. I'm talking about if you know that you live in a righteous life, righteous enough, and you're not out here to hurt nobody or do anything to anybody for them to, be hurt by or anything like that, you're gonna be all right. You're gonna be in the right place, even if a nuke drop on the middle of your city. Just a lot of the things that are not that we don't talk about aren't being mentioned in the media. Case in point, a good brother of mine on Facebook asked a question earlier about Oprah Winfrey and
mm.
about her whereabouts and so on and so forth. With Zuckerberg buying all this property in Hawaii and
Yes.
building underground tunnels and stuff like that. All
Mm-hmm.
the people are gone already. They're
Mm-hmm.
gone. So if you see them, well, why are we still seeing them? It's CGI, green screens, all that stuff. This stuff is just about culminating. I don't know if you check your Facebook inbox right before, maybe a half hour ago, I sent you a link stating that Biden told the DOJ to drop all the charges, or excuse me, cases against Trump. Now, because it just came out, I don't know how true it is, or if it's even something that it was just a piece, probably
I
somebody.
saw it. I saw it, but I didn't get a chance to look at it.
I didn't either. But I'm just
Um,
saying, if that's the case, then that's a soft disclosure to say he's coming back anytime now. Might even be by Christmas.
well, I don't know if you've heard,
Uh-huh.
but in the state of California, they removed his name from the ballot.
Well,
For
Colorado did it first.
excuse me. Sorry,
Colorado.
Colorado. Colorado. Let me be
Right.
corrected. But they removed his name from the ballot, which and citing the 14th Amendment, which does not adhere to presidents.
Right.
It doesn't adhere to presidents.
Right. He has
So
executive privilege.
right. So now you have what's the Indian dude name? Rashwami or whatever his name
Yeah, I know
is.
you're talking about.
He's talking about, if if Donald Trump's name is not added to the ballot, then he's going to withdraw from the race. And he's also talking about he also called out DeSantis, Christie, and someone else. I forget. But anyway, he called them out saying, "Look, y'all got to speak up about this." I don't know, but all I'm saying is it's a lot of shenanigans that's going on here, and
Right.
like you said, there is an awakening, and people can see, you know, the duopoly for what it is, and a lot of people are opting to not deal with it at all.
Right.
And now the Democratic Party seems to be worried about that. They are doing this big marketing campaign to black men now. All of a sudden, they want to have this marketing campaign for black men, talking about what they can do for the to help them out. When all the while, up until I don't know this year, the
Uh-huh.
Democratic Party has done nothing but condemn black men. So now you need their help, you know. But I want our people just stay aware of what's happening out here and also know how to connect the dots with history. And we're going to do some of that later. We got a lot to show you all tonight. We're going to take a look back through time. But before we do that, because I know we got our guest, Brother King Samir, I'm waiting for him to give me the 1-2 when he's ready to come in. And we'll start on with him. And I see Sister Marcia is trying to get ready. I think Samir, give me a thumbs up when you're ready, and we'll bring you in here. But before we do that, before we bring in King Samir, because I want our people to have a little bit of a historical reference as far as power and dominance and what it is that they're seeing before them. Also, give them a little history on the Freedom Party and what we were about. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Okay. Give me 1 second, Brother Samir. We'll bring you in right after this. But don't worry. We got you, brother. Don't worry. But here is an article that was written by the Attorney at War in 2020, November of 2020. And I want you all to follow with me on this understanding of what it is that you're seeing before you and give you a brief history on the Freedom Party. This is 240 years ago. The framers of the U.S. Constitution penned the law of the land. These framers were white men only. The body politic in 1776 consisted of special interest groups and pressure groups. The pressure groups also consisted of white men only. These pressure groups demanded a Bill of Rights, or all bets were off. It demonstrated that organized pressure could trump executive power. I want you to remember, organized pressure, we talked about this last week, trumps executive power all the time. This is how you know that to be true. If it wasn't true, coups would never happen. Coups would never happen. So let's continue. The framers had penned Article 1, Section 9 of the U.S. Constitution, prohibiting the cessation of the slave trade until after 1808. This was economic forecasting on supply and demand. However, after the American Revolution, the number of emancipated blacks and free blacks grew steadily. In 1816, under President James Monroe, whites formed the American Colonization Society, also known as the American Society for Colonizing the Free People of Color in the United States. It was a national organization dedicated to promoting the manumission of enslaved and the settlement of free blacks to Sierra Leone, West Africa. When this plan failed, ACS purchased land in what is now Liberia. We also discussed this on this program. And it's funny, look at the acronym ACS. And we all know what ACS stands for, right? All right, keep that in mind as we read through this. By the 1850s, this country had free blacks in addition to enslaved blacks. Free blacks were not envisioned under the U.S. Constitution. Many of these free blacks were inventors and intellectuals. This special interest group, left unchecked, ruled the roost. These inventors and intellectuals will become the captains of industry. However, the Civil War ended this phenomenon. President Abraham Lincoln made a choice to push the pedal to the metal to implement Reconstruction. Under the 1877 Compromise, the Black experiment, including Black political representation, ended. Blacks will be ineligible to legally seize any opportunity to form its own special interest group and its own pressure group. Congressman George White of Princeville, North Carolina in 1901 would be the last Black member of Congress. Blacks would no longer be federal title holders until 1929. Now, prior to the Civil War, we were already developing industry of our own. Once they wanted to ship us all over to Liberia, okay, we'll do that. But white folks can't take it. They can't take it, so they had to interrupt that. But let's continue. Fast forward to today. Black Solidarity Day, an African American holiday founded in 1969 by activist and historian Carlos E. Russell, and is based on the play Day of Absence. It was inspired by the fictional play Day of Absence by Douglas Turner Ward. It is annually observed on the first Monday of November, the day before Election Day. Because invariably does happen the day before Election Day, the general inference was that group power could positively affect political elections to the benefit of blacks. Blacks have had more than a year to be entertained by Joe Biden and Donald Trump. It reminds me of a church revival. When blacks were disenfranchised, the congregation would sing, "Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name." After 1965, the song changed to "Hush, hush, nobody's calling my name." Black Solidarity Day is also defined by a peaceful absence from everyday activities in opposition to racism and social and civil injustices. It is a time for the black community to assess collective priorities, politically and economic power, and make plans for the future. On November 3rd, 2020, when blacks go to the polls, they should be driven by the acronym HELP. That acronym stands for history, ethics, logic, and philosophy. We should have the passion to vote in the best interest of our children. Black children should not have to swim for themselves. For example, menticide and discriminatory treatment of black children in public schools persist unabated. Also, parents in the tradition of the United African Movement in 1994 must institute sleepaway summer camps to bolster survival skills and self identity for our children. From an African perspective, children should not have to suffer from the compromise of 2020. Also, in 1994, United African Movement sought to form and operate the Freedom Party, an independent political party to protect, among other rights, the equal rights of our children to a wholesome existence and to dispel the notion of white paternalism. People still believe in this duopoly. That's white paternalism. You see them as your daddy, as your savior. Let's continue. In 2010, a miracle happened in New York. In the primary, Freedom Party made the ballot. In the general election, however, New York misplaced 191,000 ballots. Only 50,000 votes of those ballots would have enabled the Freedom Party to be a politically recognized political party with automatic ballot status. The Freedom Party could have become, in 6 years, a political force nationwide. The Freedom Party, like Fannie Lou Hamer and Kwame Ture in 1964, is opposed to plantation politics. This is my issue with Governor Cuomo, or former Governor Cuomo. He knows what happened to those 191,000 ballots. We worked hard to establish this party, and the crookedness of the Democratic Party and the weakness of black politicians caused the Freedom Party not to be in the general election as a legitimate party. So I got a gripe with Cuomo. I have a gripe with the senators of New York State. I have a gripe with the congresspersons of New York State. And I damn sure have one with the city council. When I tell you this is an evil, devilish operation, I'm telling you what it is. President Trump's claim that the election is rigged has merit. The Freedom Party, and hold on, give me 1 sec. I gotta mute you, Black. The Freedom Party in 2010, in addition, Bush 41 also experienced it in 1992. Earlier, international bondholders met and gave Bush 41 the thumbs down. The Electoral College was in accord. William Jefferson Clinton was given the crown. In light of the myriad of problems we are facing, Black Solidarity Day should not be a one-night stand. To enjoy political rights, Blacks must have their own bargaining unit. Senator Charles Sumner of Massachusetts gave Blacks this advice during Reconstruction. Dr. John Henry Clark hit the nail on the head. Excuse me. Blacks refused to listen. Pressure groups must get busy today with a study group, a signal caller, and a law library. Our problems are mired in legalese. If Blacks are unable to address their problems with legalese, white supremacists will elevate the struggle to military science. This means a military plan which encompasses goals, timetables, strategies, and tactics. Philosophically, Freedom Party is unable to endorse either the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. However, Freedom Party must remain in the hunt after the presidential election. Economic sanctions may be in order to include a withdrawal of Black dollars on Black Friday. The winner of the 2020 presidential sweepstakes will not solve our problem. Self-determination will. We have to understand that philosophy. Only self-determination will. I got a legitimate gripe with New York politicians. I have a legitimate gripe with the federal government. What was done to the Freedom Party is unjust. It's a story that must be told. But I'm going to step off my soapbox. I see my brother King Samir is in the building. Let me bring him in. Let me see. King Samir, my brother, how are you? Can you hear me? All right. We're going to let him work these kinks out behind the scenes and we'll bring him back in. But your thoughts, Brother Black?
Oh man, that was
that piece. Now he wrote that in 2020.
Right. Great piece. Baba always was on point, too tapped in. Everything. The only result I seen that came out of that missive was, do you see any Black people celebrating Christmas spirit at the moment? I don't. So
No.
if that was the Black Friday he was talking about, ain't nothing happening. I mean, most people ain't got it like that right now to be buying, 10, 11 gifts and spending hundreds of dollars on each one. Most people, I don't know anybody that got it like that for real. And if I do, they ain't telling me. So, we going into that time, like I told you, where on a cosmic level, we going to take over. I don't see, we never going to be able to build up guns and tanks and airplanes and helicopters and all that to fund the war machine against them. Nature's going to do it for us. So, any day now. I've been saying that since I've been on the show. I'm going to maintain that. In the annals of time, 100 years is a finger snap. So, if I've been on here 2 years going on 3, we in the middle of the finger snap as far as I'm concerned.
Well, you know what? To your point, you were right and exact, but I'm pissed off.
Yeah, and you should be.
Let me tell you something, because there was time, energy, money, and fight involved in what happened with the Freedom Party. I want it all back. So when people say, we don't deserve reparations, no, maybe you don't, because you never invested in nothing. You never put your family, your livelihood on a line to build a political party for Black people. And until you do that, you can't tell me a goddamn thing. You can't tell me nothing. So I want mine now. Now. Like I said, shout out to one of my cousins, Jason. He had posted up on Facebook about two of our ancestors who, right out of slavery, built empires in North Carolina. Yeah, I'm reclaiming all of it. All of it. And I'm tired of the shenanigans. So I can't wait until next month when we come back and we're going to have the Dr. Jahi Issa on here with us because, like we discussed here on this program, human trafficking took place after 1808. And a lot of our people came through the annals of slavery after 1808. And we're going to deal with that once he is able to come in. He's nursing an injury, but once he's able to come in, we're going to make it happen because I'm tired of it. And people, you guys really don't understand what we did with the Freedom Party. You guys have no clue. No clue. So when people tell me, well, what we going to do? We got to choose one of the two. You stupid for asking that question. You're not mentally equipped to dialogue with me on anything when you come with that comment. Because you're looking for a savior who ain't your savior. He ain't your savior. He ain't his own damn savior. They fight with each other. Ain't they fighting with each other now? Wars everywhere. Wars, and rumors of wars. So it is what it is. Let me bring King Samir here. My brother King Samir, how you feeling?
Black Power, can you hear me?
I got you, brother. I
We
got you.
can't see
brother.
you.
No, his camera's off. He's gonna leave his camera off right now.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, it's purposely done, sir.
Yes, indeed, my brother. So we're gonna get right into it because we thorough black talk over here, and a lot of things going on in the rumor mill, and we not with the shenanigans over here. But before we get into what you're dealing with legally, I want our people to know, who is King Samir. Give our people a brief bio on who you are, brother.
Oh man, where do I start? I'll say this: since the discussion is about politics, I will say I am the second revolutionary in history to be ousted by the United States Senate. The first was our general, Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. And as a student of him, continuing his legacy and carrying the flag of fire, I am number two. I am the first revolutionary or retributionary, I will say, to be sued by the United States president and won. And won. The first revolutionary to have the Voters' Rights Commission on my heels and beat the hell out of them. I'm the man notoriously known for the destruction of my open enemy today. The first revolutionary to be on National Geographic. But I'm nobody. I'm just your little brother, fighting for our freedom and independence. I'm just a small molecule in a very, very, very long, infinite universe.
Let's not. I want our brother also, because people don't realize what it means to be condemned by the U.S. Senate or to be sued by the President of the United States. People don't really understand what that is and what that entails, and to win. But you also, you being modest, brother, because I want to talk about your brilliance in survival training and tactical survival training. You
Yes,
know,
ma'am.
you have trained a lot of people and have done it consistently for many years. Talk about that, brother. What is your passion behind that?
Freedom, justice, and independence. I made my word bond, and I will give my life before my word shall fail. That's the oath that I took. That's what carries me, Queen. Knowing that our people are sicker than ever. So if I have the remedy to save our people, if I have the medicine to save our people, even if it's just one, then I'm going to do just that, regardless to whom or what. Regardless to whom or what. I've been into survival pretty much all my life. And now I felt the need to open that door because everybody's going to be put in this position in 2024. Everybody is going to be put in this position in 2024. This
Absolute facts,
peckerwood is
brother,
coming to
because they
kick your
coming
door
after
down.
free speech heavy. They coming after free speech heavy. You are right and exact on that.
Yes, they're coming to kick our damn doors down. It's concentration camp time. They're sick and tired of us. They don't want you knowing the greatness of yourself. This is why they put zillions of dollars in the destruction of us. This is why a little trifling bed wench named Sexy Red is #1 on the Billboard charts today. Huh?
Facts.
This is why they want you to stay dumb, deaf, and blind. They don't want you dependent on your own self. They want you dependent on Walmart. They want you dependent on Food Lion and Kroger's and all these damn stores that do not belong to us. Not even funded nor founded by us. The Walmart ain't gonna save you. These peckerwoods are putting bullets in our heads. They're putting bullets in our heads. They're not trying to save you. Only you can save you. Only you can save you. Our survival queen is mandatory. Our survival is mandatory. And if you're scared of bugs, God damn it, you better get over it. If you're scared of snakes, God damn it, you better get over it. Huh? You worried about the dark, you better get the hell over it. Because the cracker is going to put you in somewhere much worse.
Indeed, brother. Let us know what you are going through currently and let our people know if how they can help you.
Well, for those that don't know, I have land out here, had land out here in the state of Virginia, and built up what's called Rebel Village. I've been here for about 2.5 years, but building the village for about 3 years, and living self-sufficiently. Had our garden growing and vegetables and herbs and spices, and I had 46 chickens, 20 ducks, 4 turkeys, and 3 security dogs. November the 9th, my camp was raided, and I was arrested, charged for a goddamn box of ammunition. Did y'all hear what I said? A box of ammunition. So I already knew it was bigger than that. I'm classified as a United States homeland terrorist. So the Black Identity Extreme law kicked in full effect. If you don't know what that is, it's a revised version of the counterintelligence program by the sissy Gay Edgar Hoover. So they're coming after everyone who says they love being black, they love Africa, anything pertaining to loving yourself. You are now considered a terrorist. And they will come for you in any way they feel like it. And it's nothing we can really do about it. Because you got to go see them in the court. You got to get one of their public
and we know, brother, has been reported by their very own commissions, plural, that their court systems are infested with racism.
Oh, man, let me tell you. So, I've been held down for a month and a half in one of the absolute most redneck jails I've ever been in my life. And I've been locked up quite many times for this. But the psychological operations that went down inside this jail, they put me in the absolute most trifling cell they could find. Outside 1 hour per week. Gave me the worst public defender in the history of public pretenders. A week before, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, they came again. This time they took all my animals. The camp was destroyed. Stuff was taken. So this is raid number 2. And thanks to those who really love me, that I am home free right now, because they are trying their best to roof me once and for all. King Samir Shabazz is a black thorn in white regime of supremacy. And I can't stop. God damn it, I won't stop. But I need y'all help. I need y'all help in securing this attorney who has been doing his job. But right now, we got to get this attorney secured financially.
So how could they reach out, brother? And if they want to help you with that, how can they reach out and do that?
$ Black Survival. Cash App. $ Black Survival. $ Black Survival. I know it's Christmas time, but damn it, you give the Jews your money every day. You give the Koreans and the Chinese and the Japanese and the Vietnamese and any other kind of ease your money every day. You give Santa Claus your money. You give these old dusty, rusty Arabs selling pig and tobacco and all kinds of K2 and madness to help destroy our people every day. So
we
your
put the Cash App in the chat, brother.
Thank you.
On our streaming platform. So anybody who wants to help out our brother King Samir, you can go to $ Black Survival, $ Black Survival, and Cash App, so that he can continue to pay for his legal representation. Again, our brother has been condemned by the U.S. Senate. He was sued by a former president and was able to beat them in those cases, continue to face harassment because of such.
That's right.
So, any final words you want to give our people, brother, before we let you go?
The white man is the devil.
Yes,
Black
indeed. Say that again one more time.
The white man is and will always be the devil.
Not according to Sucker Polite.
we ain't messing with that tonight, Black. We being
Yeah,
real good.
he opened up another can. Let loose.
Hey, brother
Yes,
Samir,
sir.
I relate deeply to your story because I'm a targeted individual in particular.
Correct.
So
Yes, sir.
so yeah, we in the same boat. And I relate. I have a blog, and after the show, let's get together. And I'm gonna put your story out if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Just inbox me on Facebook, Samir Shabazz, if you're not on my friends list already.
Yeah, no, I'm not, and I will do that after
I'll
the
send it
show.
to you, Black. I'll send you
Okay.
his
Okay.
profile.
Thank you, brother and sisters.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother. All the best to you always. You know, you got a friend in us over here at Thorough Black Talk. You know how we move.
Yes,
So
ma'am. I appreciate you, Queen. Give thanks.
always, always. And I want to give a special shout out to our brother Knowledge Born, live from Do the Knowledge Radio. Knowledge Born.
Power.
Yes, indeed. My brother, you be well and stay strong in the fight. We got your back over here, you heard?
Wartime.
Yes, indeed, brother. Salute, salute. So again, family, if you want to contribute to help our brother King Samir, you can go to $, that's $Black Survival, $Black Survival, so you can continue to pay for his legal fees because that's monumental. When you fight against the government and you win, let me tell you something, they don't never rest. They gonna keep coming after you until you 6 feet under the ground. They gonna keep coming after him. And not just him, but so many others who are now in the midst of legal battles who have various blogs, television shows, and streaming platforms as we have. So a lot of people now are in the throes in this battle to control free speech. And that's what, whether you like Donald Trump or not, that is what these legal cases are all about. It has nothing to do with whether he did anything criminal, if he's still doing it has nothing to do with that. It's all about controlling of the free speech. And how do I know? When these streaming platforms came before us, whether they were Facebook, Twitter, MySpace back in the days, wherever, these were are mechanisms to help control free speech. At one point, you remember you could put up anything, you could say anything you want on these platforms. But in the last few years, what happened? More and more control of your free speech. That's what's been happening here. So, you know, this is nothing new. When you doing media, when you in media, or even if you just speaking out like our brother King Samir, don't matter. It don't matter. When you going against the system for real, they come for you, i.e. the Freedom Party. Because a lot of people talk about what we could do politically. The Freedom Party actually did it. Not talk about it, did it. And what happened? It came for us. Came for us. You know, as our brother King Samir said, you know, now the identifying code is identity extremist. Before it was COINTELPRO. These folks don't stop on you. They don't let up. They keep going. But we got to understand where we at right now today. What we have to do for us. I see my sister Marcia got in here. Sister Marcia, what's good with you?
Salute, family. Welcome to another Blacktastic Day with Third Black Talk.
Yes. This is our final broadcast for 2023.
Final broadcast for 2023.
Yes,
Ah.
Oh my God, we're going to miss everyone. But you're in the new year. Be ready.
Hey, Sister Keisha, I figured out where them ballots went.
Go ahead. Where they went?
Governor Cuomo then Governor Cuomo at that time put in paper recycling so he could buy some more gold nipple rings. That's where all his money went.
See, this is why we always in trouble. You didn't hear what King Samir said, apparently. But you trying to get us in trouble over here, Black. See what I'm talking about?
I
I'm
didn't
talking
You're
about.
curse or say
guilty by
anything.
association, Keish.
Hey, I didn't say anything illegal or immoral. Come
I'm
on,
just saying, you saying it
free
a lot.
free speech.
Let's listen to our ancestors. We throw it back here on Thorough Black Talk. So let's listen to the ancestor. And I want you to remember the article I read that the attorney at war wrote back in 2020. See if it correlates. Hold on.
It's about power, not loving one another and all those things we hear. Power. And to a great extent, the problem that we're confronted with today as African people and African people in America flows from our powerlessness or our inappropriate use of power. We've been made to think that power is sinful and that to pursue it is a sinful pursuit. And that it's wrong. And we have the power, ladies and gentlemen. We have the possibilities. We just need to reorganize ourselves, reorganize our consciousness and our personality and our culture, and see them as instruments of power and use them as instruments of power to transform our situation.
I mean, he can't make it no plainer. He couldn't make it any plainer. I don't look to get along. I'm looking for power and dominance. Period. Period. I don't want to dilly dally with nothing else. Nothing else because it don't work. It never has worked and it never will work. The framers of this country, the framers framed it for white men. As I said on this platform before, the battle between the white man and the white woman is about status. Status. Because the first legal citizen was a white woman. So white men have always had an issue with that. But you will never hear him condemn white women for it. Now, moving on to these spheres that we have, staying in this frame, you see a lot of commentary on these streaming platforms about the role of a black woman or the role of a black man and all of this foolishness. To me, I mean, those of us with clear vision know that this is a psyops. No, it's a psyops. The problem is people fall down the rabbit hole with these folks. You just had Jonathan Majors, actor Jonathan Majors, in a legal battle with a former lover of the Caucasian race. Former lover get into an argument. He's trying to get away from her. She's coming after him, grabbing on him, whatever. Anyway, he was cited for a misdemeanor pretty much in the grand scheme of things. But anyway, he gets into this thing with this woman. Now, white men don't like to see white women messing around with black men. But I have gone on all of these, whether it's Glenn Beck or Tucker Carlson or the New Right, or none of these groups condemn this woman. Nobody talked about her value. Is she high value, low value? They don't do that foolishness. Y'all don't see this as a psyops? And the people running the foolishness, listen, I know CIA when I see it. This is crazy. But I'm going to get my 2 cents from my sister Marcia. What do you think about this case with actor Jonathan Majors and his recent legal issues with a former lover and people's commentary as it relates to this woman?
Well, let's all be honest. If it was 100 years ago, he wouldn't even went that far to a trial. He would have been hung already just on accusations. And at that, after being hung, his family would have been annihilated, which this is what's going to happen next. We must stay focused. We must learn from our past. Our past tells us the trajectory of our future. We are either going to continue to repeat it or we're going to change it. And it's about high time we start changing what has occurred in the past. Like my sister said, no one is denouncing the brother. And at that, denouncing the woman, the lady, the person, the whatever. But at that, many of us are not even recognizing that he would have been lynched, that would have been the first recourt. They're not talking about that, and that's sad. And at that, we're still not even talking that he ran away from this woman for a mile and a half, and she still chased him, and he is still held liable. He is being publicly lynched in front of our eyes, and we're still watching Disney Plus. We're still watching all those channels that are cutting him at his knees for trying to get away and saying no. So it's bad if you say no, it's good if you say yes. It's like, where do you stand? But where you do stand, Black man and Black woman, is stay the hell away from these people. These folks are not for you. Oh, they treat me nice. Oh, they do this and they put raisins in their potato salad and it tastes so good and it's sweeter than everything else. You guys are crazy. You guys need a wake up call. Drink some gin, drink some soursop tea, drink something to wake up because you are in constant. And listen, I'm not going to say I'm better than anyone. I'm not, but I do know how to turn off and try something else. If we keep
Let me not to cut your wisdom, sis, because you're right exactly on that. I couldn't agree with you more. This issue with Jonathan Majors, again, like I said before, or we have said on this platform before, be careful who you sleep with. You know, all of these friends of his from the Caucasian persuasion, where were they in the courtroom for him? Who was in the courtroom side by side with him? Black
His
women.
pretend Black woman.
Black
Because,
women. No,
because
no, no. Wait a minute. There was more than one. His family,
okay,
right?
yes,
And Megan Good, right?
yes.
So again, remember I said the image of Black women coming to your rescue in a courtroom, what that image does in a courtroom. You always got to go back home. You always got to go back home. But you don't hear any men, white men that is, talking about this woman's character, saying she's less than, she ain't high value, none of that. None of that. You don't hear none of that about none of them on this platform. I want to play this clip, and I see my brother Tad getting ready to come in here, but I'm going to play this clip and we'll come right back with our brother Tad. Hold on.
A good woman can speak life into a homeless man and make him wealthy just by saying, I believe in you. Any man that speaks down on any woman is a terrorist because the woman is our tree of life. So how can a man open his mouth? And a lot of women go from man to man not to have sex, not to be a freak or a hoe, because they're looking for love, even if it's temporary for an hour. A man making love to her saying, I love you, baby. That probably feed her for a whole year because daddy never said that. The women are trusting these men. That's why they sleeping with them. A woman's not going to sleep with you. She don't trust you. Yeah. And you know it's men. Okay. We smooth with these words. Baby, you know I love you. Girl, come here. Baby, here's a little bit of doubt. This girl fell in love because women deal in emotions. Women are emotional. Men are emotional. But women deal in their emotions. So now she's emotionally tied. You're not a man to degrade a woman because she has children. How does she lose value? How? Where's daddy? Oh, it's the woman's fault. Daddy done talked them panties off of her, gave her all types of promises he could not deliver, but now it's her fault because she got pregnant. But the man's the leader.
Here's the thing. With that issue with Jonathan Majors, and of course, That image, I'm sorry, that's a horrible image. It's a horrible image. It makes our men look so weak in the face of power when black women have to hold you up in a courtroom. It's not for any other group but us. It's crazy how that works. But of course, Megan Good or whoever wasn't his first choice, wasn't his priority, but damn near is your savior. We got to figure out and understand what we're dealing with out here and what these images represent. But I'm gonna get off my soapbox. I see my brother Tad on the check-in. Brother Tad, what's good with you?
Yes, ma'am. I'm blessed and highly favored. Peace to the family. Brother Blacksmith, Sister Marcia, Sister Keisha. Salute to the brother King Samir Shabazz. I was tuned in my travels. You know, and I loved how he ended it. You know, the white man is the devil.
Point blank and the period.
Oh, I guess you ain't hear what I said then, right?
I heard you too, Crazy. I said, yo, that's my brother. I said, that's my brother. Shout out to Sucker Polite. Yeah, but to your point, Sister Keisha, the only thing I could think of, and I went in the archives the other day and revisited the letter, Let's Make a Slave, also known as the Willie Lynch letter. And right now, that's what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with. You know, I'm glad King Samir shouted out Sexy Red, you know, the filth that's being promoted to us. And these manufactured images of who we are and who we aren't. And we have to stay vigilant and mindful that this is who they've been. Unfortunately, enough of our people don't know our story. When you talk to people about these things, they say, oh, slavery, that's too painful. But they don't have a frame of reference if you're not going to deal with our enslavement, if you're not going to deal with the human trafficking, if you're not going to deal with the kidnap, rape, torture, and sale of our folks. You won't understand the psychology of the folks that we're dealing with if you don't visit that peculiar institution. I know it's painful. I think Medical Apartheid was one of the hardest books I've ever read. From the second chapter, I kept having to put that book down before I could complete it. But if we're going to be honest in our position and really have a leg to stand on, when we go to intellectual warfare with these folks, we have to do it. That's the hard work, dealing with this pain. And when I see sisters fighting brothers and brothers fighting sisters, it just disheartens me because I got my two sisters right here. We don't have no issues. We don't have arguments. We may have disagreements because Sister Keisha don't like Stevie Wonder, but that's another story. I still love my sister, and I'm not going to throw away for nobody, you know? But unfortunately, people are looking outside of this circle of awareness because I hope they don't talk to their mother like that. I hope they don't see their grandmother with them same lenses that they looking at sisters with. Yeah, and there's some trifling sisters out here, just like there's some trifling brothers. It's trifling people in every community, no matter where you go. But for those of us who supposed to know better, we got to show better. So anytime I see this stuff, because you know, I always say, man, leave them white girls alone, please. They don't mean you no good. History has shown, as Sister Marcia said, had this been 100 years ago, he'd have been lynched. Shoot, had this been 100 days ago, he'd have been lynched. You know, but this is, what could we call this? An economic lynching. Because just with the accusation alone.
They didn't do that to, what's the name? The president of the UFC, when he was on camera slapping his wife up at a party. He was slapping her all up.
And
but he did nothing financially.
And you're 100% correct, Sister Keisha, because dealing with slavery, and I'm going to step off my soapbox. Let's go to the 14th Amendment where they said we were supposed to be free. But what they did was create a second-class citizen, which was us. So anytime you see legal documents and you see a capital C, that means first-class citizen, which is who? The white man. And everybody else get a lowercase c. This is the trigonology that they use upon us. So we are not afforded the same rights and privileges that they are. So look at Robert Downey Jr., look at Hunter Biden, look at all of these folks that do atrocious crimes and crackheads and all kind of stuff and come out and make more money than before they got in trouble. But with us, just allegations alone is enough to destroy you as a black man. And this is something I said last week and the week before last. We got to be mindful. There's a witch hunt going on. And I haven't met a perfect person yet. And I'm be honest with you. And if you, and get on my Bible thumping thing real quick, because even in the Bible, a lady ran up on Jesus. She said, good rabbi, good rabbi. He turned around and said, ain't nobody good, not even me. Only God is good. Now that's their Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, who said that. So why are we looking for perfection from people? Let's get our shit together first before we start casting judgment on other people without really knowing the facts. Listening to our ops, listening to the enemy, mainstream media, give stories about who we are, who our community is, and we eat it up, hook, line, and sinker. Allegations is enough for us to condemn our own folks, and we got to get better with that. But I just came in and step off my soapbox and cool off a little bit.
Let me just say, I am perfect. Now, moving right along. But all jokes aside, when I saw that article in Rolling Stone about Sexy Red having the #1 hit record in 2023, that Ski song, that's, I listen, I blame y'all folks for that. Yeah, I blame y'all for that. But anyway,
I don't like Ski. I only like Pound Town.
Here he go. I want to go back to a legend, right? Star Trek legend Nichelle Nichols. And let's hear her commentary when she met with Dr. King. And prior to her meeting with Dr. King, she really didn't want to do this role. But anyway, let's hear from her about having integrity in this entertainment industry. Hold on, family. Here we go.
Said, well, I'm leaving Star Trek. He said, you cannot. I was taken aback and I didn't say anything. I just looked at him. He said, don't you understand what this man has achieved? For the first time on television, we will be seen as we should be seen every day, as intelligent, quality, beautiful people who can sing, dance, but who can go into space, who can be lawyers, who can be teachers, who can be professors, who are in this day, and yet you don't see it on television until now. I just stood there realizing every word that he was saying was the truth. I said, well, I'm
having integrity in this entertainment industry, it seems to be null and void. Null and void. The more disgraceful you are, the better off, they will continue to push, because as Sister Nichols said, peace be upon her, that, they don't want to see integrity. So here came the influx of all of these reality shows. And I don't care what reality show, you can name anyone where Black women are the stars of. How come their only best friend is a gay Black man? How did that happen? How did their husbands at the time, because a lot of them ain't married no more, but how did their husbands at the time allow that to happen?
Can I answer?
You're saying nowhere up in this address over here. And now, Mr. Forrester, you lost your damn mind. But isn't that funny? All of their best friends are gay Black men. Now, being that they had these gay Black men as their best friends, when you look episodes down the line, or I would say seasons down the line, they lose their husbands, but they still got their gay Black men in. And they continue to push this image, right? They continue to push the image of falsehood, having these women live lifestyles that they really weren't living or aren't living, right? Pushing this degeneracy of a party lifestyle, a lustful lifestyle. You never see them care for their children. You never see them care for themselves or their homes. They got teams of nobody, right? Handlers, all kind of handlers. But folks are enthralled in that. It's the same thing with sports, fellas. I could say the same thing about football, basketball, and baseball. The same thing. All of these prominent players got a Becky on their arm. They leave their black woman, Michael Jordan, and get a Becky. But black people support his shoes. It's crazy to me.
Come on, Keisha, you know better than that, though.
It's crazy to me.
Keisha, you know better than that. You know better. I'm gonna tell you why. Once you reach a certain financial status, a Michael Jordan, a Michael Jackson, a Mike Tyson, let's put this on entertainers as opposed to singers, rappers, actors, comedians, blah, blah, blah. Entertainers, let's say entertainers. When you enter a certain economic bracket, you got to give up somebody or do some rituals and so on and so forth. And that's going to tell you, it don't just mean killing. You got to divorce your wife or husband, most of the time wife, because it's mostly black men and white women. You got to give up your original person so that you can, okay, if we don't want to make it about race, we could say the difference between Dwayne Wade leaving his wife and marrying Garcelle, who's another entertainer, and she becomes his handler and coaches his son to be a daughter now. Things like that. So sacrifices, when we say blood sacrifice, we mean a death. When we say sacrifice, you may have to give somebody up as far as divorcing, and now you marry a white person, and now they're entitled to the wealth you're going to leave behind, because if it's a man and a woman, believe me, if the man is 60, his wife is going to be less than 30, so they can have crazy children. She benefits from his latter wealth when it all accumulates and spins into one account that she controls and doles out whatever he has to his original children with his original black or colored wife.
With all of that information, because we've had this information for quite some time, and people still fall into the trick bag, I'm not giving nobody a pass. Nobody.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry. Y'all, you know, I try to have a little bit more grace, but I don't. I don't want to, and I'm not going to. So I'm not going to try no more. I'm just saying, because you're right in what you're saying, Brother Black, 100. However, when do you know better? When do you know better? And that's why whatever happens to these folks, I don't care. You get what you deserve. Because you could have always walked away. You know, I remember.
You can't. It's like the gangs. You got to get.
Now, hold on, brother.
Okay.
When I remember the show Basketball Wives. You had former NBA player Jason Williams, used to play for the Nets. His wife was on there. And so was Meta World Peace wife, ex-wife was on there. You know why you only saw them in a couple of episodes? Because they said, we're not with the shenanigans. I'm not doing that. We're not talking about that. I think Jason Williams' wife, I think maybe she was in 2 episodes. We're not doing that. So there is an option. When people don't want to take, listen, I really don't feel sorry for these folks. I don't.
It's not only
what they deserve. Go ahead, Sister Marcia.
It's not only an option, it's a stand, right? You either stand for something or you fall for everything. And today's society, majority of the people around us or that we see on these platforms are falling for everything because they think it's the dollar that makes something. Baba Amos Wilson was saying power. Power may have something to do with money, but power also has to do with your fortitude for Blackness. If you are not for Black, you are going to fall for the shenanigans. We must stop giving people passes. That's what you're doing, Brother Black. When you're saying, oh, well, this and oh, well, that, you understand the past and you're telling us about the past, the path that these people have to take. But what I'm saying is we must stop talking about this path because, like Sister Keisha is saying, they have to start standing for something. There has been evidence that Sister Keisha pointed out. Let me tell you, I've never been a fan of any of these reality TV shows, even from Jersey Shore or what was when they first started on MTV? What was that thing called?
And you speaking of Jersey Shore, notice the paradigm wasn't the same as these black shows.
Right.
They didn't have gay best friends throughout the whole wherever they had Snooki and whatever their name was. But I didn't see that. I only saw a couple of shows, but I didn't see that.
I never really watched reality shows, only the Flavor of Love. Shout out to Flavor Flav. Right.
Hey, y'all seen that Flavor
New
Flav?
York was your favorite?
They said Flavor gonna make a piano album now, all piano by itself.
Who, Flavor Flav?
That's what they saying.
Yeah.
All right.
But the point I was going to make is one time Al Sharpton, I don't know if y'all remember, in the early 2000s, Al Sharpton had a show called Sharp Talk. I was on the show. They never aired it, but it was me, Kwame from The Apprentice, and Omarosa, Al Sharpton. I think it was another person. I don't remember who it was. But we were talking about reality shows, and Al Sharpton was bigging them up. And, of course, I was holding the same position we all hold right now. Those of us that know saw this coming. But Omarosa said something that stuck with me. She said in the show, they always painted her as the angry black woman. She said, but what they would do behind the scenes is they would poke her. All them white people would poke her and jab her and gang up on her. And all they would record and air is her response to them. Now, what's our sister name? Post-traumatic. Dr. Joy DeGruy, teacher, Dr. Edwin Nichols, always talks about A and A prime. He said, white folks respond to A instead of A prime. What does that mean? They'll antagonize you and bother you. And when you respond, they use your response as the crime as opposed to them bothering you. Same thing we just saw with Majors over there. You know what I'm saying? Here he goes to jail because the white girl hurt her finger bothering him, harassing him. Because she got hurt, harassing him, she's guilty. Again, this is the thing we always got to be mindful of because, family, these folks don't know no better. And I'm talking about our folks that sign up for this. Look how everybody was quiet when Monique was talking about this. When Monique was talking about the unfair payment, talking about how I think Netflix,
not to cut your wisdom, but didn't Taraji P. Henson just resign from acting for the same thing?
Me too. I wanted to go in on that too.
I'll just get ready to go there because now Taraji want to talk about it, but nobody stood up with Monique when she talked about it. Everybody called her a troublemaker. Everybody scared to stand up. And this is the problem because we don't stand together and they know this. And this is why I brought up the Willie Lynch letter earlier today. Divide and conquer. It always works. But if we become students of our story, we see that everything we have, we fought for, not because of the benevolence of white folks, because we fought for it. Whether it's Juneteenth or our pseudo freedom or our emancipation, rather, because there ain't no freedom, or our emancipation, everything we have, we fought for. Civil rights, civil rights, whatever we call them, we fought for them. Desegregation, we fought for it all. And our folks don't understand that it's our time. We have to stand up and hold a position. Even if we're not going to be vocal, we at least have to stand together. When we look at the Montgomery bus boycott, old folks was walking to work. They didn't want no rights, so they knew it was bigger than them. There was a purpose in what was happening. And I think we talked about it not too long ago.
Funny you mentioned the Montgomery bus boycott.
Yes, sis.
It was this week in history where the bus boycott ended. So funny you mentioned that. I mean to cut you, but go ahead.
No, I mean it's all relative because we're in alignment with all of this because we're not new to this. The thing is, we do this to bring people up to speed because folks running around like they really understand race relations and they don't. One of the things I hate is when people call black people racist. And black people can't be racist because, as us here know, racism is a system of power. And we don't have that power. And it was created by Johann Friedrich Blumenbach, who literally create the races, classification of the races. So folks need to cut it out, man. Cut it out, tune in, share these videos, educate folks who think they know what they're talking about because they don't. They don't read enough. Only book they read is Facebook. And they have to stop it. Because to your point, Sister Keisha, this is part of the emasculation process, because even when you looked at Dr. King's civil rights movement, the signs always said, I'm a man. Why? Why did it say I'm a man and not give us free? Because they always try to emasculate us. So when you see homosexuals celebrated, when you see children like Dwayne Wade's son being paraded in front of the cameras, when you see what the chump name Billy Porter and all these folks, this is done intentionally. Because where's the strong masculine black voice for the black community? You mean to tell me only women and homos speak for black people as a whole, and we're not even a monolithic group? Where's our Dr. Kings, our Malcolm X's, our Elijah Muhammad's and Marcus Garvey's? They're constantly getting silenced and everybody acting like chumps, scared to just speak their mind and tell the truth. I mean, like I always say, you don't even have to be on the front line, but support those that are on the front line.
One thing I wanted to...
Hey, Sister Marcia.
Hold on. Give me 1 quick second so I don't forget my foot, please. One thing I wanted to add, as you talked about the Montgomery bus route, everyone was walking.
Yes.
No one is walking today. No one wants to walk. Oh, I gotta walk to Jamaica Avenue. Oh my God, it's so far. Oh my God. Tampa tantrums. We hold no solidarity. And then it still goes back to our conversation of code, value, systems. These are the things that need to be established for us to move forward. And the second thing, I don't care about Tahaji because I feel that she's a hypocrite. Because when she's talking about the funds that she's getting, oh, I get $1 million, but then the man takes this much, and then I have to pay my team. She never talks about her family first. She talks about the team. Oh, I got to pay the stylist. I got to pay this. All this beauty, it didn't come by itself. I have to pay all these people in order to make it happen. You're not saying anything about community or nationhood. You're still very selfish. The one thing I respect about Monique, when she spoke, she did speak on nationhood. I don't know how far she was going with her conversation, but she mentioned it in her dialogue. Tahaji is just talking about self, and that selfishness that we have in our community is one of the many things that is damaging us. Brother Black?
Yeah, what I wanted to address, Sister Marcia, was the point you made about not feeling sympathy for these entertainers who find themselves in the situations they find themselves in. And one thing that none of us here are mentioning, or that I didn't hear, and if I'm wrong, please correct me, is that I'm not talking about these celebrities and where they're at right now. I'm talking about these celebrities and how they started and where they wound up at. So when I say that, you have to understand as well, I speak as a targeted individual, how are they messing with you behind the scenes what you don't see in the media? You see what I'm saying? So to say that they should have knew better and all this, if they started out, especially as athletes in their late teens, early 20s, and then now they're 45, 50, and their career is over, and now they're doing other things, and then they get scandalized some kind of way. What was happening behind the scenes to make that happen? Were these people put in their lives in a setup situation to now, demonize them when their career's over and they're not making as much money to control that money?
Absolutely. And I agree with you. What I'm saying
is where, hold on. So let me finish. So this is where my sympathy, as going through it myself on a micro level, not on the macro. I'm not famous like them.
You are.
I can relate to that. Not I'm going through what they're going through. I can relate. What led up to Kanye West's mother dying on the surgery table? And things like that. What was he saying in them offices that we didn't hear before he started being known as a ranting guy that comes out to say all these random things, or so they say they random, but they're not.
Let me tell you something. The same happens in the corporate world. You have options. The same happens in the corporate world.
Did Virgil have those options?
Yes, he did. It's called walk away. It's called walk away. That is an option. You talking about somebody who's been in the fashion industry on the corporate side for over 30 years. So I know what I'm talking about. I've been at parties. Listen, I heard he's a big time football, or was a big time football player, Donovan McNabb. So I don't watch football. I believe what was told to me.
Yeah, he won a Super Bowl. No, he didn't. That's Cam. I'm thinking of Cam Newton. I'm sorry.
Whatever. I've been in parties with him, Sean Paul, and others. Things have happened. It was an option for me to stay or leave. It's always an option.
Always.
So I'm not here for if you're not a child, these adults, I'm sorry. I don't have that empathy for them at all. At all. Because Kanye could have said, you know what? This ain't gonna rock for me. Even in his latest rant, which I would agree with most of the things that he said in his rant. However, you have no validity because you didn't have that angst when you was laying with the Yarugu. Okay?
Control, sis. I believe that.
I'm not giving no passes at all because you left one who kept your children from you that you claim happened, and then you went and found another one.
No, that's CGI and all that. That's not the real.
I don't care, Black. I don't care. Whatever's happening, if that image is out there, then it has to be dealt with. Before that,
it's deeper than that, Keisha.
Listen, before that, Mr. Ye, his number one smash album out the gate, College Graduate, he came out vehemently against Black women. Lay with the Yarugu. You said it in your lyrics. So what happened to you after that, I don't give a damn. Okay. You already made your bread. Okay. You made that bed, you lie in it. Out the gate. Go back to the first album. Out the gate. So you had an option. You chose otherwise. I'm sorry. I don't have empathy for people who talk Black and sleep white. I just don't. On any level. That goes for Ivan Van Sertima, Franz Fanon, and the rest of them. That y'all be big enough. I ain't got that kind of Douglas, all of that. I ain't got that kind of empathy. I don't.
Dr. Julius.
Yeah.
Her too. Anybody. You talk Black.
Who did you say?
White, I don't rock with you.
Brother Tad, who did you say?
Dr. Julius Garvey.
He doesn't talk anything.
Yeah,
he doesn't talk anything. Listen. Huh? I was so sad when I saw his little French wife.
No, I wasn't sad. I'm not sad. See, this is the problem.
No. I was sad. I was sad for the knowledge that he gave, the strength that he gave the knowledge, because you didn't know. At least I didn't know. And once I found out, I was just like, oh, little puppy.
Sister Keisha,
I'm not talking about the information. We know the information. A scholar is a scholar, regardless.
Okay.
If the research and history and is right in exact, is right in exact.
Okay.
I'm talking about having empathy for these people when the system come against you. Go ask them for your help. Go ask them. When they came for Van Sertima and others, what you come to the Black folks for? When OJ got tripped up, what you come home for? Stay out there. So I don't have no empathy for these folks. I'm sorry, I never will. And kick rocks. They can kick rocks is all I'm concerned. I'm just saying we have to have enough discernment to understand what's really going on out here. This is a psyop. And people keep falling for it. They get triggered by these things. You triggered by these shootings. You're triggered by these commentaries. You're triggered about with these celebrities. You're triggered by these politicians. They guilt trip you into voting for one party or the next. You've been getting triggered for over 100 years. Oh, our ancestors died. To hell they did. Show me. Because they died for every goddamn thing else. But you ain't breaking your back to do that either. They died for losing land and property. But I don't see you scraping to get it back. You understand what I'm saying? I'm tired of it. And I'm tired of us giving passes to bad behavior. This is one of the, listen, the reason why we still in this predicament on December 21st, 2023 is because we keep having these allowances. We keep doing it. And I often say, my brother Tad is a witness to this. If you don't study the goddamn mistakes of history, you are doomed to repeat it even worse. Look at our conditions. It's worse. Because we chasing the tail.
Well, I'm going to keep it a buck. I don't even look at them people as our folks. If that's an option, you really not, you know what I'm saying? We not even on the same team, man. It's almost like any sport. You know what I'm saying? We both play football. But if I'm on the Giants and you playing for the Bills, we not on the same team. That's what's understood, needs no explanation. The thing is, it's almost like, to your point, we always try to reclaim people after the fact. I like to use people as a case study. See, this is what I'm talking about. Whether it's Jonathan Majors or it's O.J. Simpson or any of them. Say, that's the only time I'm going to bring it up. I ain't going to say, come on, brother, we know you made a mistake. Nah, because we don't really have, we got our own personal mistakes we making in life. Let's keep it 1,000. Because even if except Sister Keisha, because if we get rid of all the coons and all the crackers and all this, that, and the third, in our own quote-unquote African-centered conscious community, we still got grievances and conflicts. Let's keep it 1,000. Because I've sat with almost every elder who got an issue with almost every elder. And I'm like, yo, is this the leadership? Like, let's keep it 1,000.
And it's a reflection of how the community operates, right? Because you look up to these elders. Hold on. We don't have a community. That's what that tells back. Because if you had elders versus elders, you would be able to operate within a system. There would be laws that everyone knows, because as they're going around, they're not marching around as they used to, but as they're going around, as they went around, they would have been echoing the same sentiments. So masses of people would know this is how you move. They're echoing whatever knowledge base that they're on. They're not echoing, this is what's going to be the foundation of a community. That's why we don't have a community, because no one can.
I got you. And I'm going to tell you from my observation, ain't nobody trying to build community. They like the rhetoric. They either want to sell a lecture or sell a DVD or just be the man.
Say that part one more time, Brother Tad.
The lectures, the DVDs, and the books, and be the man. That's
One more time. You 3 times the charm.
3 times. They just want to sell their lectures, their DVDs, and their books. They
That's
don't
right.
want community.
That's right.
Community. Why? I'm going to tell you why. Because if they did, they would put their grievances aside no matter what it is. Hold up, sis. I'm from the streets. I forgave the dudes who shot me. Those are my brothers. These dudes ain't doing no violence to each other. We done shed blood. And we forgiving each other because we realize it ain't about nothing. We've all developed to be grown, responsible young men who care about our family and our community now. That's what me and the dudes I used to have issues with have in common. We care enough about our community and our family to put all that to the side.
That's excellent.
And not considering each other to be punks, because we consider each other brothers now, because we realize there's something bigger at play. Dudes on the other side of Brooklyn were not my enemies. The enemies is the one who gave us access to the weapons as children.
The white
Those
man.
are our enemies.
The
Why
white
our elders can't see it? They want to beef over ideas about Afrocentricity.
Absolutely.
Come on, it's
But the
receptive.
thing
But
is,
this what I'm saying about, because, and I don't mean to cut you off, sis, but I'm so passionate about this because I see so much fakeness, not just within the leaders, because it's the people who support them and that foolishness. Whether it's Dr. Sukiana stealing money, whether it's Sucker Polite stealing money, whether it was that little homo felon, young Pharaoh stealing money. All these people were stealing money, and just because they sound good, everybody running to them. And when we said, yo, we don't rock with these people,
but again,
everybody, oh, y'all haters. Haters are what? I hate thieves. I hate thieves in my community. I hate that. I hate people fleecing my people. Because guess what? If this was the block, those codes you talking about would have been upheld. Just like when Tommy Sotomayor came to Harlem and got dealt with for disrespecting black women. What did everybody do? Everybody got mad at the brothers who regulated. We can't have it both ways. We can't talk about women need to be protected. We need to protect the community. And when dudes deal with the enemy on the inside, everybody want to get mad. Oh, we got to stop this senseless violence. It ain't senseless. You disrespect, you get violated. That's it. We got to stop playing. I think I told y'all a story before about a white dude who came through the block and grabbed up one of the little dudes, and I just had to put hands on him. And the little dudes never even seen me like that because I'm always preaching positivity and just chill. But I told them, when it comes down to y'all, when it comes down to this community, we're not going to play. We're not going to let outsiders violate. But even within our own quote-unquote African-centered community or circle, we let anybody in and talk they talk and violate and disrespect, and they don't get hands and feet put on them. And that's why everybody do what they want to do to us as black folks, because we ain't dealing with nobody but each other. Somebody say your mother, first thing you do is grab a gun. Cracker come steal your house, you don't even beat on him. You don't even beat on him. He come knock on your door, show you that letter, and you just, well, this is not fair. I'll see you in court. Nah, where I'm from, we hold court in the street. Deal with the consequences as they come. But it's a lot of cowardice going on. But that has to change because we are trying to make people be us. Why we don't talk to the little dudes on the block? Be like, yo, little man, I know you out here doing your 1-2. Don't get rid of your guns. Just stop turning them on each other. That dude across the street is not your ops. The ops is the people who trying to displace us from Bed-Stuy to Harlem to Detroit to LA to no matter where we are. I went to Nipsey Hussle block. It looks so nice. I was in the Crenshaw and Slauson district. From what I've seen on TV when I was in LA, I said, wow, this is beautiful.
It's gentrified now.
Everything.
Back in the 90s, it wasn't like that.
Southeast DC. I remember Washington, DC in the 80s. Gentrified. Looks beautiful. And you know when it's gentrified, when the people ain't got no curtains in their windows. You know where you at. But my point is that, and this is in agreement with what you're saying about the codes, they only good with reinforcement. Majors, all of these people, Taraji, I agree with you with Taraji. Now she want help. But the same token, it's our job to constantly have these conversations and give people this information, because some people just really legitimately don't know. Most people haven't read a book since they left school, and they might have left school in the 8th or 9th grade. So where they going to get this information from? You're not going to get it on BET. You're not going to get it on VH1 or whatever channels you're watching. You're not going to get this in the newspaper. They crushing all black publications. Like it is out the loop. Like everything that we used to have to give us information on what's going on in our community is now gone. And this goes back to what we we're talking about earlier about them silencing the voices through these social media platforms, because this is the only avenue we have to exchange information. And now they're slowly closing the vice up on that one, tightening it up. Like, nah, you can't say this, you can't say that, you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that.
Facts. And the Democratic Party, this is why, they are in heavy violation. The FCC is in breach of its charter. It is supposed to provide that type of media for us, like it is, or like our brother Listerville who had the show in North Carolina.
Yes.
These
That shit.
are mandates to have your FCC charter. You know, another component of UAM was the Friends of Like It Is, challenging the FCC on that very thing. But and when I said we need to form a commission, everybody in black media, I'm still waiting for folks to get back to me. But now they crying because streams are getting pulled, right? Now all of these other platforms like Apple and Spotify and all of them are bleeding them out of their royalties. All of these podcasters are getting robbed. This is crazy. But I'm gonna get off my soapbox. Go ahead,
Hey,
brother T.
Keisha, can I put something into the forum?
Sure, brother.
Has anybody here watched Leave the World Behind?
Yes.
I did.
Okay, what's the
I watched
any commentary?
My commentary is another movie to make white folks feel comfortable. And even in the face of chaos and destruction, it's your job to make white folks feel comfortable. That's what I got from the movie. But you give me your thoughts. What you got from it?
I ain't watch it yet.
So why you bring it in?
Because
why you bring it in?
Always these Bronx dudes. You see what I'm talking about?
Come on, we want to have you bringing in dialogue.
Hey, I'm on no
you have
right now. I have y'all know.
Yeah, right.
Aunt Marie said she saw the movie. What you think about it, Aunt Marie? For me, I saw it as just keep white folks comfortable. That's the way I saw it. And
it was
I also recognize the fact that those of us who ride bikes, all of yous, when the road shut down, you can't use those vehicles. So those of us who ride bikes keep going to do what you doing.
But you know what, sister?
Now, one thing I saw through it is the whole fact of what we keep talking about. You must have your safety net built in. That little girl fell into a safety net. She don't care. She got her friends. She not even worried about her brother was dying. Her mother's out there. Her father was going crazy. She didn't care about nothing. All she wanted to know was what happened on the last episode of Friends. I'm going to be demolished. And she found the safety net. She had all the snacks in the world, yada, yada, yada. And the military science of that man. That man was like, come one more step. Come one more step.
I want to say something real quick about the movie. Outside of it being trash, you know me, I just be tuned in, and that was a dog whistle for the Urugus. And sometimes we miss it because we not tuned in. Anybody ever check out that Laurel Yanny experiment from a couple of years ago? If you could bring it up, Sister Keisha, if you could just play that tonight, just real quick, because some people hear one thing, some people hear another. Laurel and Yanny, that's the experiment.
I think she's frozen right now.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
However, with that movie, it's a dog whistle because what was going on in Urugu media is they was pretty much talking about the movie prior to the movie coming out. They were talking about the borders being open and how the feds had caught so many people that was on the terror watch list sneaking in this country that there is a chance for internal disruption to the system of government. Not to mention the battle that the globalists and the nationalists are having and effects to the storm on Washington, the raiding, U.S. Capitol.
January 6th.
We know that it's a dog whistle.
Right.
But the thing is that like we always talk about bringing light to the community. Like, don't look at it as face value. Look at it as the resources that you need to get yourself together. And like Sister Keisha said, you're still making white people comfortable in the middle of a war.
Well, actually, they're not comfortable. And that's why they're blowing the dog whistle. And that's the point I was building up to.
Who's not comfortable?
White folks. They're not comfortable. They are not comfortable. Why aren't they comfortable?
Her husband was very comfortable.
That's the movie. I'm not talking about the movie. I'm talking about real life. I can't do whatever's going on in that movie. I can't do nothing about it.
But I'm saying white men are very comfortable in where they are in their stance.
No.
Oh,
No, they're not. No,
They are
they're not.
You are watching the fall of America, is the point.
We are watching the fall of white supremacy.
Well, America, because it's going to be around for a while. Your mic is muted, Blacksmith.
No, it ain't. It's done, brother. And
Negroes, some Negroes and some Asians and some, a lot of people are going to
the
uphold
people that
idea
need to maintain their legacy or their integrity are going to do that. And that was that white man. If you didn't pay attention, because he's like, yo, I'm going to give you cash to save my son's life. I don't care that you're here with your Uzi. I have the cash. You give me the drugs. All I'm saying is, for me, I saw that white men still know that amongst themselves they could communicate, and amongst having the driver, the black man, drive them around, they're going to have that.
Let me show you how faulty that way of thinking is, Sister Marcia.
I got you. I'm here for it.
How long do you think that white man in that movie could sit in the field with you in the middle of the summer on a 95-degree day with the UV rays being at 8, let's say? How long could he be out there?
I'll say that. I'll say this. Knowing the things that I know about our people, right? Not us right here. But if you find one of these rich elite P. Diddy, I'm going to make a shade for you. I'm going to find an umbrella. I'm going to do something to make sure that
I asked the question, you put a qualification on it. I didn't put
But for me, if the white man was in the car with me, he wouldn't have even been.
Now you went back to the question I didn't ask. I was asking, how long could he sit out there with you?
He couldn't sit out there with me. He couldn't sit out there with me.
Okay, thank you. That's my answer.
But again, to the folks that are not awoke, to the folks that are sleeping, to the folks, to Haji.
Let's assume we speaking to each other right now.
To each other, we're having a null and void conversation.
Okay, thank you. That's what that. Because you're about to go into something else that we don't need to go into. Sister Keisha, you froze too long. Where you at?
I know. What's happening is on my street, they are digging up the grounds, right? They redoing the sidewalks. So now they were on my side of the street, and they've been over here for like 2 weeks now. I tell you, boy, these contractors sure know how to milk the city. But anyway, they are on my side. So now that's why I keep getting these interruptions. So I have to keep 2 different computers on, because once one shuts down, then I'm on to the other one. So forgive me for that. Hopefully in the new year, they will be finished and we won't have to be dealing with this issue anymore. But, you know, I agree with everything that you guys are discussing. You know, as my brother Black and also Tad, you know, we have a little bit more patience with our people. I tried that. I don't like it. So I don't want to. So I will leave that to them. You know,
hey,
I can't do everything. So I'm going to leave that
respect just for mentioning that, because that is a beautiful place to be. Again, a lot of things that I say it as a targeted individual. So I have a totally different perspective in the event you're not one or can't even relate to what that could be. So I respect that. At least you said that much, and for that you get much props from me.
Thank you. Thank you. So for all of you, you know, when you come and you see me, don't look for grace, because I'm not giving it to you. You know,
yeah, I'm the nice one.
Go over to Tad with that. Go over to Tad. He'll help you with that.
Yeah, I'm all nice and pleasant. I'll be greeting people with smiles. And Sister Keisha, she still got that Fort Greene.
But one thing I gotta say about my brother, and you know, he and Ashe, they live it like they speak it. 100. You know, when we was with Straight Black Pride, I was away on vacation, I think. But anyway, when I got back, I was made light of a certain situation. But my brothers took care of the situation before I even arrived, you know, because they didn't want our sisters to be in the midst of someone who was crazy. I'm going to just be nice.
Yeah.
Was crazy. So my brothers took care of the situation. They didn't cause no, you know, flim flam and all of that. It was dealt with behind closed doors, and that was it. When I came
quickly and
back, Tad
swiftly.
said he ain't with us no more, and this
Quickly
is why.
and
And
we
I
let it
left
be
it at
known,
that.
hands and feet will be placed on you. This is, you know what, and I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Everybody who know me outside of this public forum or whatever, know, all right, play if you want to. The fact, and it's Sister Keisha and Dog always say I'm diplomatic. They be like, Tad is diplomatic, Tad is diplomatic. You know why? Because if I'm not diplomatic, them folks gonna be in my business. Because what I'm gonna do is called a felony. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not gonna sit here and wrinkle your shirt. The police is gonna be called. Bet that, because they're gonna have to come scrape you up. And they're gonna be like, who did this to him? And I'm serious about that. We like to play with it. Dudes want to debate. Dudes want to have pissing contests. Nah, man. We gotta have fisticuffs like men. If we in a real disagreement about the seriousness of the direction we're supposed to go in. Because everybody be playing with it. From the elders on down to the new people coming into the movement who read 1 or 2 books or watched the old video and think they know something. But they ain't been out.
Including, and you can throw that with the church folks too, because they just as bad. You see what's coming out about TD Jakes lately, huh?
Woo! Y'all gonna leave my good pastor alone now. Y'all gonna shout out to TD Jakes. The power bottom, whatever that is. I don't know. I'm getting new phrases and I don't know.
What's that phrase that?
Power bottom. I don't know what that, but he twerk and throw it back. I don't know.
Hey, Tad, they still
Jesus be a pimp. Get your hoes in.
They still call police Jake in Brooklyn?
I know I do. I'm old. I call
yeah, that's what I grew up calling from the East.
Kids call him 12. They be like, yeah, 12. I'm like, who the hell is 12?
Yeah, exactly.
I call him Jake.
I stuck with Jake, yeah, and it ain't never did me wrong. Yo, Jake coming.
So thinking back, because we coming down to the wire, family. There was something that I wanted to do with imagery with our family here, but unfortunately, because of this issue that I'm having, I can't do it. So we will do it in the new year. But I wanted to get each of y'all's take on, things that have happened in 2023 that, besides what we've discussed so far, that, come to mind that you need our people to pay close attention to in the coming year.
Who's first?
You can go first.
Okay. To me, August 7th or 6th, August 6th, 2023, the Alabama Slammer Jammer was the flashpoint, in my opinion, because that's Tad's like specialty right there. I know Tad was like, let me get over there. I want to jump in the water and overtake C Murder so I can get it in. To me, that was the flashpoint event of the year for me. I'm done. I ain't got to say no more.
Sister Marcia, some things that you noticed in 2023 that you want to highlight as we close out this year.
I don't know. 2023 was focused on family for me and organizing. So one, maintain your vigilance on your family. People die. And when they die, it hurts. And it helps you realize certain things, certain patterns in your life. As we talk about looking at patterns in the larger scheme of history, we have to look at patterns in our personal lives. It's very important for us to understand where we're going. And Sister Keisha always talks about our health. I'm not trying to go vegan. I'm not part of that lifestyle, but I am part of a healthy diet lifestyle. Get back on our bikes. We understand the value of biking. As I'm healing, I'm preparing for bike season come March, and maintain your connection with nature. Those are the 3 valuable things that I'll say: organize, family, nature. That's what's important for the future years.
Brother Tad, some things that come to mind that took place in 2023 that you want to highlight.
For me, this was a year of clarity. Financially, it was an excellent year. But there was always more to that because I can remember years ago when I was financially somebody different, like really well off. That doesn't bring me too much joy. It really functioned outside of my purpose. So I had to be reminded of when I had money before and it could not help me when I got in trouble. All the money I had could not help me. So with this year, I was forced to sit back and see things clearly and really, sis, make elbow room for myself. Because sometimes people come close to you and it's reason, season, and lifetime. And sometimes you got to see the reason. Sometimes it's for the season. And some people may be around for a lifetime, but I was really forced to sit back and start critiquing who's in my circle and who's allowed to stay in my circle without any apologies on being authentic and true to myself. Because with the loss of my mother, like, that was a blow. I think you told me before, this is a club you don't want nobody to join. You don't wish it on nobody. And I received that. So the past few years, I've just been coasting through life. But this year, everything has been very intentional and things have been opening up properly for me, you know. And I just look forward to 2024 being more prosperous with me having even more vision of what's happening. Because a lot of stuff, just as we was talking about today, a lot of stuff is rhetoric. It's rhetorical. It's not our authentic experiences. And we negate our experiences just to be in alignment with talking points, as opposed to really looking and critiquing our own life, our own personal experiences, our own relationships and disassociations with people. Do they serve a purpose or are they part of the circus? We got to ask ourselves. So with that, I'm just seeing things clearly. And that's why I always appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all to life. I appreciate our audience and those that support us because what we doing has meaning and value. Though people may not see it right now, but when it's all said and done and our time is come and gone, this will be part of our legacy. I'm going to say this real quick and I'm going to pass the mic. The butterfly effect. I'm just loving it. I'm loving it because I'm seeing it manifest. You know, the butterfly effect says butterfly flaps its wings and it creates a tornado somewhere on the other side of the globe. It's talking about the little actions that we do make a big impact down the line. And as we sit here and watch so many people get jammed up for sexual abuse, and we see people starting to come out, and some people telling their truth, some people are clout chasing. But I know that's part of when we were with Straight Black Pride, and we took on the role to let this be known. Because remember, Sister Keisha, nobody else was talking about this stuff. Nobody else. People were saying we was crazy, but where's Sucker Polite at right now? What's the appetite of Dr. Sukiana? We starting to expose things because of what we did so long ago that didn't seem like a big deal. But look how it's having a ripple effect in time. And people are really starting to topple and come down. The Epsteins, the Weinsteins, the Harvey Steins, and the Frankensteins, all of them going down because of what we've done. And these conversations that we have every Thursday night mean something. Because guess what? The children that's coming behind us that's looking for information in Black history and what direction should they go and how to think for yourself. How to think for yourself. They're going to come across these videos and be like, wow, I like these folks. Whatever happened to them? I was never fortunate enough to meet Dr. Clark. I met Dr. Ben, Dr. Khalid, so many others. Dr. Francis Cress Wilson. Peace be upon all of them. But it's the work that they've done that got us where we are today, because we're standing on the shoulders of giants, literally. And we're carrying on the work. You know, so I just say with the clarity, it gives me a high level of appreciation for those who are in my life that do give value, that do mean something, and see the value that I have to offer, as opposed to just trying to withdraw from TAD and not deposit in TAD. You know, so 2023, yeah, it's a whole new deal. Because this year I turned 50. Yeah, so yeah. All that and all that. And
Love it. I love it. I love it. I just wanted to highlight some things in 2023. that we should be mindful of and, stay focused as we move into 2024. Politically, we are shocked right now. Um, Spiritually, we are shocked right now. One of the things that I've noticed in 2023 is that the attention span of a lot of our folks has gotten worse. And so in 2024, I mean, the stars are in alignment that it's my year. And I hope so because 2023 was very, very difficult for me. Those who know me, especially my family, you know the troubles that I have suffered in 2023. I come on here every week with a smile and highly enthusiastic because that's what you all come to see. You don't come to see Sister Keisha and her issues. But trust me, 2023 was hell on water for me. And so, as I said, the stars are in alignment that 2024 be my year, and I hope so because what I've been through, I can't go through again. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Also, I am very, 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 very appreciative of my brother Tad and his wisdom and his foresight and his humor. He's my brother for real. My brother Ashe, always love and respect for my brother. He's doing his thing. Trust me and believe, family. You're gonna see some big things from my brother. I appreciate the wisdom and the foresight of our ancestors who greet us every Thursday evening and make sure that our tongues are in alignment. Um, and that's magic within itself. I want to thank my ancestors for covering us throughout this year because we all have been through some trying times this year. The four of us or the five of us have been through some trying times. So I want to thank our ancestors for doing that. Of course, we are genuinely, genuinely appreciative of all of you who tune in every week. All of you who tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody where it goes down. And we're going to continue to do what we do individually to make sure that this cosmic slop is in tune with what we need to be. Am I right, Brother Black?
Yes, ma'am. That's the movie.
In tune with what we need to be, family. So, keep your head on the swivel. Stay alert, stay focused, and stay in tune with who you are. Be better. Make sure each day that you wake up is a chance for you to be better and greater than what you were the day before. Remember that you are not in this world alone. What you do is a pebble in the ocean of us all. So be mindful of your actions, be mindful of your foresight and your behavior because some of us have vision, but we don't have vision for the group. And again, if the group fails, you fail, right? So we have to remember that. So we will see you all in 2024. I think around the second week of January. This Sunday is my anniversary. Me and the hubby, so I will not be answering the phone this weekend unless it's an emergency. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm not answering you, but I will be checking in from time to time. Yeah, I'm gonna celebrate that because Black love is under attack. It's always under attack, right?
How many
And
years,
so,
Sister Keisha?
married, we've been married for 24 years.
Wow.
Married for 24 years.
Wow. Congratulations, sweetie.
6 years. But thank you, thank you. But you know, even Black love is a revolutionary act. My brother King Samir came in earlier and he told y'all about having revolutionary acts. Thank you, Sister Farnessa. But how we move, how we approach life, family. Please, please don't think you're doing it by yourself for yourself. So again, all the best to you in 2024. Keep it black. Keep it thorough. And as my brother Ashe, as Jay always says, the battlefield is where you stand. True courage is learning how to suffer. We out, y'all. Good night.